Atonement is a word mainly used for a certain person in the Bible who was called Jesus Christ. When Jesus died on the cross, he repaid the sins of all people, which meant that everything was forgiven and everyone was in good standing with God. Atonement could also be explained like this. Imagine I didn't like the look of some random man on the street, so I decide to punch him square in the face, only to immediately turn around and give him a great big bear hug. The bad deed has been cancelled out by the good deed, so everything is okay and square. Now, please don't try this, because you might hurt your hand or your face. Our story now centres on a young man who has done a bad deed, and he's making a difficult journey to atone for his sin. All I can feel is the pain of many, and all I can see is the knife dripping with blood. That's how she described the choice of weapon. No different than butchers, she said. The total slaughter of lives has plagued me for months now. The injustice of it all. I have to choose life over the knife, see whether or not it will free me from my prison, heal me from my mental torture. So here I am, in my car, taking the first step, the first mile into the light. I am cold. On each side of the street people are wrapped up like Eskimos, thick jackets, woolly hats and gloves. The bitter cold stabbing their bones like a knife. Poor things. I put my hand against the vent in my car and it barely registers heat. Perhaps they're warmer than I am after all, I say, pounding the steering wheel. The odds are against me tonight for sure. -20 freezing conditions and as much snow as the Arctic. Talk about bad timing. Talk about poor planning. My tyres labour over the snow, ascending inch by inch. Come on, car, don't let me down now, we're nearly there. Another little bit, that's it. Yes, we're over the hill. You beauty, I say, kissing the steering wheel. Now the opposite effect, and probably even worse. The traffic slows ahead, and with the descent my car speeds up. Sometimes I wish my car is a horse and I can pull on the reins to stop it. Wouldn't that be brilliant? The engine growls and the tyres groan as they slide over the ice. Please stop, I say to my car. I'm begging now and I almost curse, but I don't want to invite the devil in. My car stops, no more than a foot from the bumper of the van. Is that close or is that close, I say. I hit the accelerator, but nothing. What's happening? I press it again, still nothing. I turn the key. There's a rat-tat-tat sound, but that's it. Shit, oh no. I'm back to the cursing. Calm down, Darren, calm down. I try the key again. The same rat-tat-tat sound, but not. I'm not the only thing the cold has got to. I step out of the car. An old man treads cautiously on the footpath. Behind him a couple strolls hand in hand, clinging to each other for their dear lives. I put my shoulder to the car and heave. A 4x4 approaches from behind and a voice calls out to me. Are you mad, man? Says the driver. I ignore his comment. It's best not to make enemies out here. Who knows what kind of lunatics are hovering around. He stalls next to me and I get a look at his face. A thick beard, mid-50s, and a smell of alcohol. I'd leave that yoke where it is. You'll freeze to death, he says. I need to be somewhere, I say, hoping he'll leave. I'll give you a lift. No, I'm fine. There's something about him I don't trust. It's the way he says things rather than what he says. And his breath is worse now. If I set a match to it, I'll blow us both up. Suit yourself so, but you'll regret it, he says, and I stare hard into his features, not sure what way to take that statement. He drives off, and I push my car. It rolls gradually and stalls. The destination seems as far away as the North Pole now. It is close to 11 at night, and ahead of me there's just two parallel lines cut into the snow, as far as I can see. A car passes, and I gesture with my arms. The male driver glances and then stares at the road. The bastard knows well I'm in trouble. Now I regret not accepting a lift with that lunatic, who may not even be a lunatic, Just some lonely middle-aged man who wants some company on his journey. What was I thinking? I try the ignition, and it's the same rat-a-tat-tat sound, only fainter. If I stay here, the frostbite will make short work out of my toes, so I lock the car and start walking. On either side, the snow covers the rooftops like blankets. Not a footprint from man, bird, or animal can be seen. It's like a postcard or fairy tale, a strange perfection. I continue walking, faster and faster. The blood circulates, and I believe I can do this. I believe I can keep my strength and energy up. I tell myself this over and over until my legs ache and my stomach rumbles. I should have packed food. I know that all too well now, but preparation and planning are not my strong point. The road flattens out, but the pain in my foot is unbearable, and my face burns cold. "Hey, weirdo," a voice calls, echoing through the street. Never heard of a car? I gaze across at a group of youths who are staring right at me. 3 to be exact. "It broke down," I say, "about 3 miles that way." With a trembling hand I point behind me, and immediately I regret what I said. Too much information. The leader of the pack, or at least that's what I call him, walks towards me, followed by his 2 wingmen. "You've walked a long way. I hope she's worth it, bud," says the leader, and the other 2 laugh hysterically. I don't know what's so funny, or maybe the cold has affected my sense of humour. There's something about them that spells trouble. Grey tracksuits, puffy jackets, buzz-cut haircuts, and the whitest pairs of runners you would find anywhere. They blend in like grains of sand in a desert. "I just want to mind my own business," I say. "You're our business now, you weirdo," says one of the wingmen, and he laughs with the other 2. The leader grabs me by my jacket collar and pushes me to the ground. I can't remember ever feeling so afraid. "Give me your wallet," shouts the leader, who looks like a lion about to devour its prey. He has taken something, and lots of it. That I'm sure of. "Here, take it," I say, pushing it towards him. "Just give me the photo." He looks at me for a second before rummaging through the wallet. "Is this your daughter?" he says, holding up a photo. "Yes," I say. "You have a daughter?" he shouts, leaning towards me with blazing eyes. "So that's where you're going now, isn't it?" I hesitate. I don't want him to know anything about my plans. Already he knows too much. "Isn't it?" he insists. "Yes," I say. "I have to see her." "You're one of those rich boys, aren't you?" "I know by the accent," he says. "Yeah," says one of his wingmen, with a posh gaff and a posh mott. "Let's get his car and rob his house." The leader pauses before smiling. "Give me the address of your house," he says. "No," I say. "Give it to me," he shouts, and dribble falls from his lips. My body trembles more with fear than the cold, but I'm not backing down on this one. "You can take anything," I say. "My wallet, my phone, keys, take it all. But no matter what you do, you'll never get her address." He pauses while staring deep into my eyes, and it seems he's trying to read my mind. He clasps my throat and squeezes. "That's it, Jake. Kill the bastard. It'll be one less of those weirdos," says one of his wingmen. I grab his arms, but he's too strong. I see my daughter's face smiling at me, and somehow I manage to speak. "You can kill me," I say, as the strength leaves my body and my feet burn cold. I've been dead my whole life anyway. But she makes me want to live. He pauses, and through watery eyes I see his eyes glow with sadness. It is a sudden, subtle change, but a change nonetheless. He removes his hands and blinks and shakes his head before speaking. "I had a daughter once," he says, holding the photo closer to him and staring at it. "She would be 3 years old now." His 2 wingmen roll their eyes, and it's clear that they're having none of it. "Come on, Jake, finish him off," one of them says. "Take his car keys. I swear he's driving a flash car." "Where is she now?" I say. hoping to pull at his heartstrings. Dead, he says, staring at the footpath. Aborted, not even given a chance at life. I'm sorry, I say, but his wingmen are not interested. Finish the bastard. We've wasted enough time. The leader hesitates and stares at me. Are you not living with your daughter and her mother, he says. No. Why? I made a mistake, but I chose not to make another one. I made a promise to God that I'd be a better person and a father to her. Cover the sin with love, bring light into the dark. What about me? It's too late for me, he says. No, it's not too late, I say. Take no notice of this prick, Jake. Our gang rules these streets, says one of his wingmen. Shut up, says Jake. It's never too late, I say. You'll meet someone. That's it, you fucking prick, says one of the wingmen. He swings at my head with his right boot. I cover my head with my hands while at the same time Jake grabs him by the jacket and shoves him onto the street, where he collides with his better half, and they both fall hard like sacks of spuds onto the ice. It would have been hilarious if I wasn't so cold and so scared. Don't ever touch him or I will kill the two of you pricks, says Jake. None of you are rulers or leaders or even men. You're both cowards, scum. My whole life in school and out of school, hanging around with you two. Everywhere I go, there's yous are, like my shadow. Get out of here. After much struggling, the two wingmen get to their feet and Jake slaps them one at a time across their heads like he would do with two bold children. You're making a big mistake, Jake. There isn't a copper to be seen tonight. We won't get a chance like this again. I don't care. You will when you see how rich we get tonight. Clear off, says Jake. And either of you come near this man or anything or anyone related to him, and you're both dead. Do you hear me? Okay, they both say at the same time, and he makes a swing with his right fist towards them in a mocking fashion, and they duck for cover before sauntering across the road in the direction from where they came. Jake rubs his hand together before speaking. You're not going to make it to your daughter, he says. You'll freeze to death. I'll make it, I say, not fully believing my own words. Once I start moving, the blood will circulate and warm me up. Here, he says, grabbing my arm, and before I know it, I'm on my feet. His strength gives me a renewed confidence, and secretly I'm glad he's on my side. Thanks, I say, rubbing the snow off my jacket. I better be going. What will I do, he says, and I can see the pain on his face. I take his arm and stare at him. It's what you've done here tonight that matters. You chose to do the right thing. Now you must continue doing the right thing. I know you've suffered, but out of suffering comes joy. You can't bring your daughter back, but you're young. You'll find another girl, fall in love, get married and have children. Choose wisely, my friend, and great days are ahead. I feel the numbness in my feet and the cold stings my face and hands. I pat his arm and walk as fast as I can. He calls after me. Will I see you again, he says. The road of life has many turns, Jake. Roads intersect, turn off sharply, come to dead ends. We may meet again or maybe not, but continue to choose the right road and it will lead to true happiness. He doesn't speak, but I know he listened to every word. I continue on my journey before turning to look at him. He is motionless. The cold is getting to him too, it seems. He smiles and waves. It's after midnight now and the streets are deserted. The sky glistens with stars and the earth glitters, rooftops, walls, front gardens, back streets, footpaths. Streets and cars. The snow crackles under my feet like hot coals in a fire. It slows me somewhat, but the destination is clear in my mind. Not far now, I tell myself, just to rally that negative voice in my head. A van snails through the snow on the opposite side of the road, and its driver stares at me for a moment. I don't want any more surprises tonight, not in my condition. The cold is intense, but my blood is warm like her face. I can see her features, brown hair, eyes, dark hair, tan skin, soft, tiny hands. I need to be with her. I need to talk with her mother, explain everything. I will say sorry a million times if I have to. I need this more than anything now. I push my legs to the limit and my knees ache. It doesn't matter about pain or hunger or near-death experiences. She's my girl, my flesh and blood, my everything. I pass another roundabout. Ignore the pain and the cries from my body. My face and ears are frozen, but the warmth from her face is too much. It's a right turn up next, I say again and again, and then I fall down on my elbows, and my forehead hits the ice. I'm stunned for a moment, but when I try to get to my feet, my body is unable to respond. I crawl on my hands and knees with the same determination as before, but with a lesser gain. There it is, I say, rounding the corner, just as I remembered. The white gable gleams from the moonlight. My eyes dim and my legs and arms give way. Is this to be it, I say, when I'm almost there? I fall on the snow. I don't know how long I am out, and at the first I think I am dreaming, but then I hear a voice. Dada, Dada. I open my eyes and a blurred image appears before me. A face. Yes, it's a face. I'm sure of that. I blink my eyes and the features become visible. Are you an angel, I say, and I take her small hand in mine. She just stares at me, but surprisingly doesn't remove her hand. Perhaps she knows that the life has almost left my body, and that she is giving me life. Then another voice calls out, Darren, Darren, what happened to you? I told you I'd be here, I say, holding on to her for dear life. My little light walks ahead of us and pushes open the door. Outside, the icy flakes come down hard, while inside, the warmth of a house, of a home filled with love and life eradicates all darkness and despair. I hope you enjoyed that story. Please subscribe to my channel, like and share. Have an absolutely amazing Christmas. Oh, by the way, if you've done any bad deeds this year, now's the time to do some good deeds. It's Christmas after all. See you next time.